Hey, Jazz Guitar Lifers, and welcome to the Jazz Guitar Life YouTube channel. I decided that I want to get on YouTube in a way to just give a more visual introduction, I guess, to Jazz Guitar Life. Some of you may not know who I am, or may not even be aware that there is a online jazz guitar magazine devoted to the community of us jazz guitar players. And I just thought it'd be cool to kind of say hello. And here's, put a face to the name. Although I don't know if you want this face to the name, but anyway, you're stuck with it, so that's what you get. I this is going to be a very casual channel. I'm not going to spend a lot of time editing, if anything, if any editing will be done. I just want to come on here every week or every couple of weeks or maybe every day. Who knows what's going to happen? But when I think that there's something of interest to all you jazz guitar players out there, then I would come on and give a little bit of a shout out to whatever. And I guess with that said, I want to give a shout out today to the great guitar player Dave Stryker. Now, Dave Stryker, as you all should know, is a wonderful guitar player who's been in the business for 40, 50 years. I think, Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean he's played with Stanley Turrentine, he's played with Jack McDuff, he's played with a whole lot of great players, and for the last 35-ish years or so, I think he's also been a leader, putting out his own music. And today is the drop of a new album from Dave called Dave Stryker with Stryker Strings. Or, sorry, Stryker with Strings Goes to the Movies. And there you go. Now, you may be seeing this in reverse. If I have the ability to reverse the video footage, I will. If not, I apologize. But anyway, you can always just go on the web and see it in its natural form. Dave Stryker, like I said, once again, great guitar player, great guy personally. I've interviewed Dave 3 times so far, or 2 times, sorry, on the Jazz Guitar Life podcast. And of course, if you go to www.thejazzguitarlife.com, check the podcast link up on the upper right of the site. You'll get to see all the podcasts. There are now 25, and as I said, Dave is on 2 of them, and so he's going to also be a featured interview again very soon. I'm hoping to talk to him this coming week, about this album, Stryker with Strings Goes to the Movies. And as you can probably guess from the title, it's 11. I don't know if you can see this. Once again, it may be backwards, and I apologize. It's 11 tunes that all have been from very well-known movies. Just to give you a bit of a taste, In Your Eyes from Peter Gabriel from, I think, the movie Say Anything, Cinema Paradiso, from Cinema Paradiso, You Only Live Twice from, of course, the James Bond film You Only Live Twice, which is one of my favorite Bond films. It's just a great piece, and the music is wonderful. He plays the theme song to that. There's Taxi Driver, a bunch of other ones, and a very fun listen with Dave on Wah Wah, as he does the theme from Shaft. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if Dave's played wah wah before, but we get to hear him on the wah wah pedal, and he of course just kills it. And of course also it's got I won't go into how many people, but it's just got a slew of musicians in the orchestra, featuring trombone, violin. There's a whole bunch of violin players, viola, cello, alto, and soprano sax, trumpet, and flugelhorn. the person who put that all together, Richard Doyle. And so, if you want to see who those cats are, of course, buy the album. And it's just a great thing. Orchestra arranged and conducted by Brent Wallerab, who it's a name I am not familiar with, but nevertheless, he did a smashing job. Just really knocked it out of the park. If you're aware of, or if you're familiar with Dave's last album, or one of his last albums, where he has, As We Are, he has a string section on that. And that was really nice. But this is like the whole album is all Dave and strings and horns and stuff like that. So just a great album. I've listened to it briefly. I got this over the holidays, and unfortunately I was sick over the holidays with a flu type thing and stuff, and so didn't give him much of a listen to, except for like a cursory listen. I will be listening to it in the next few days much more intently and doing a review, which will appear next week up on Jazz Guitar Life. And as I said, we'll be talking to Dave for the podcast. Another great album that I wanted to talk about, which I'm also behind in. Because of the holidays and because of being a little sick and stuff, I'm totally behind in my Jazz Guitar Life duties. But if you don't know about this album, definitely clue yourself in. Emily Remler, Cooking at the Queen's, live in Las Vegas, 1984 and 1988. So this is a great document. It's a 2 CD set, some great shots, some great photos. There's a booklet. Where's that booklet? Somewhere in here. I can't get it because there we go. Okay. So it's a great booklet. There's all kinds of reminiscences, people talking about their association with Emily. Zev Feldman, the owner of Resonance Records, I believe. Let me just make dang sure of that. Yes, Resonance Records. Thank you. The same guys who put together last year the Smoking at the Half Note with Wes Montgomery from the radio broadcasts, which also was a great album. And if you want to see that review, that's up on Jazz Guitar Life. Anyway, I also haven't had much time to listen to this, but what I have heard is wonderful. And what is amazing about this, whoever mixed it, whoever mastered it, of course, Bill Mikulski has liner notes. Whoever mixed it or mastered it, so it comes from, once again, it comes from radio broadcasts. Somebody found the original tapes, and then Zev and his team over at Resonance Records really knocked it out of the ballpark. It's so live and in your face. It's from the first cut. It's just like you close your eyes and you think you're there. It's just the recording is amazing, and it's pretty raw. It's not in the studio. I mean, I don't think they doctored anything up in the studios, but they could control the loudness, the dynamics, what have you. This is just in your face, Emily. So definitely something, if you haven't checked it out, definitely check that out. Emily Remler, Cooking at the Queen's. It's, of course, on CD. I think it's obviously, of course, for digital download. And there's also, I think it's a 2-record vinyl set. So that's pretty cool if you're a vinyl aficionado like I am. I think you should just buy everything. Buy them all. For God's sake, buy them all. And that is two things that I wanted to mention today, especially today, because today is Friday, January 9th, January 10th, sorry. And it's the day that Dave Stryker drops his new album On Us All. So that was also the one of the reasons why I wanted to start this YouTube channel on this day, just to kind of give a shout out to Dave and Zev and all those people. And I just earlier today I uploaded a new podcast, episode 25, featuring the Latin jazz guitar player Nef Izareri. I always forget how to pronounce his name. Oh my God, this is horrible. Izareri. Anyway, you'll go on to the Jazz Guitar Life podcast. You'll hear it pronounced properly by myself and by Nef, who pronounces it both in English and in Spanish. So that's cool. But he's a great player. I don't know if you know him. He's just a great player who deserves your attention. He's a great jazz guitarist. He's a great Latin jazz guitarist. It's just something. So check that out if you can. That would be. I think you'd really enjoy that. And actually, and also before I go, I also want to say that sadly, if you don't know already, and everybody knows probably, like the last days of 2024, we lost the great guitar player Peter Leitch. Peter was a Canadian. He lived in Montreal for many years. I think he may have been born here. I had not got into jazz at the time, so I never had a chance to meet him before he moved to New York and became a huge part of the New York jazz guitar community and the jazz community in general. But he unfortunately passed away, and so I've been listening to a lot of him lately. Just as an example, Jump Street. I think this may have been one of his early albums, if not maybe his first album. But it's just it's a great album, and signed on the back by him. I don't know if you can see that. And it's sad. I mean, he gave his life to the music. He was also a great photographer too, and a great writer. He came out with a almost like a tell-all book on himself, but also on the industry as a whole. And I've yet to read that book, and I can't even find it. So if anybody wants to send me a copy, that'd be wonderful. But all joking aside, Peter is a cat that if you are not aware of, you should definitely check out his catalog, check out his backstory. On Jazz Guitar Life, there are 2 interviews with Peter, both in text format. One interview I did about 15 years ago, maybe. And the other interview is much more recent because in the past few years, Peter lost the use of his arm due to some cancer treatment that he had, which messed up his nerve system in his arms, and so he wasn't able to play guitar anymore. But instead of giving up and not continuing, he took pen to paper, as it were, and began writing some great music. And he came up with a double album called New Life Orchestra, and it was wonderful. It's really great. 15 amazing players on there, big band style. But a little different than your usual big band. But just great charts, great arrangements, and a very cool thing. He also features a guitar player on that album named Phil Robson, who I also interviewed on Jazz Guitar Life. So you can check out all these. I will put a link, if I can, to the interviews and stuff below, so you can check them out at your leisure. But I think you'd really dig them. They're just great players, and they're legit. They're like the real deal, And so it was just wonderful to hear what he could do without a guitar. Peter was just a wonderful composer, but unfortunately, he was taken from us, and that's sad. We also lost last year as well, Russell Malone, which was just a huge blow to the community as well. So, we're losing a lot of cats, but we're gaining a lot of cats too. There's a lot of guys who are just coming up. I did a desert pick island, like a 5 desert pick island feature on a relatively young guitar player, probably in his mid to late 20s, named David Rourke, not to be confused with David O'Rourke from Ireland, but David Rourke, who is a Montrealer, but who now resides in New York and has gone to studied at Juilliard and is really happening on the guitar scene. Has played at Dizzy, has played at Smalls. He usually featured in bands. I don't know if he's got his own gigs as leader yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has. And he took the time to do a 5 desert island pick feature, which is just basically, I asked guitar players to choose 5 albums that, if they found themselves on a desert island, and if that desert island had electricity and a stereo system, then they could listen to the 5 most important albums of their life in terms of their jazz guitar stuff. And it's a fun feature. There's a whole bunch of them on Jazz Guitar Life, and it's fun because you get to, there's always the same, Wes is live at smoking at the half note. There's always Jim Hall, live. But there is, within all those similar albums, there are some really interesting albums that you would probably be very surprised about. So, if you want to, just go on Jazz Guitar Life and just browse the site. There's tons of stuff, let me tell you. And there's going to be tons of stuff. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. So that's it. Let me know in the comments if this is a thing that you would like to see more of. And, over the next couple of weeks, this is my first foray, I can't even speak, my first foray into YouTube doing this type of thing. And I think it'll be like an extra little something that we can kind of connect with. And if you have any questions, if you have any things you want to see on this or see on Jazz Guitar Life, just, hit me up, info@jazzguitarlife.com if you want to, or leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. As you know, music is something that we desperately need in our lives. And, whether you're a jazz guitarist, or whether you're a rock guitarist, whether you're a drummer, a bassoon player, a vibraphone player, let's all get along. No, but we can, music is something that we desperately need. And it's definitely a healing process that we can definitely take advantage of. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again. Like I said, if you want to see more of this, let me know below, and I will do what I can in the near future. And take care of yourselves, and be kind to others, and keep practicing. All right, peace.